Hi everyone, wanted to go through what happens when we break our strings on our racket. I'm going to kind of show you what you should do at home with cutting the strings out, how to do that, the stringing process, and what it looks like when it's completed. So first, after you've broken a string, the one thing that you want to do once you get it home is find the middle of your string pattern on the bottom and cut straight up to cut your strings out so that it doesn't warp the frame or bend it or even break it. So you cut straight up and then find the middle on the side and do the same thing. Don't worry about taking the strings out. I will do that once you cut the strings out. Now, whenever I start with the stringing process, I always have to mount the racket. So simply I have to tighten up the 6 points. This stringer that we have is called a 6-point stringer. It gives us 6 points of tension on the racket frame to give it stability when we're stringing so that we can get started with the stringing process. All right. As we start the stringing process, I've already cut the string. I start the string through the frame, and then I pull it and make sure that each side is even before I get started on it. And then what I'm going to do is I pull it to tension. And then I clamp it. I will continue this process through the racket. Alternating sides. So I pull through on this side, pull tension, unlock the clamp, over clamp. Then I go to the other side, do the same thing, or I run it through. And then clamp. I do this all the way till I get to the sides or the ends of the grommet pattern, and then I'll tie off. Now that I've made it to the sides or the end of the mains, those are the strings that go up and down in the frame, I'm going to pull it to tension. I lock it or clamp it into place. Then there are specific holes on the racket that are designed for tie-offs. Okay, so I know I went fast there, so I'll slow down for you. Once I put it through the hole that's designed, or the grommet that's designed for the tie-off, I make a simple loop around it, come back through, and that'll make a knot. Pull it a little bit, and then I do one more knot. Then I unclamp, and that side's done. Then I come over, I do the same thing on the other side. Around, up and through, tie it off with 2 knots. And then we're done with the mains. Now we are beginning the cross strings, and these are the ones that we're going to be weaving in and out of the racket. You start by finding the highest grommet that's left. I go through, I weave the string in and out. It gets smoother as I go once there's tension on the strings. Put it through, and once again I'm finding the grommet that's meant for a tie-off. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger. Put it through. This knot's a little bit different than the previous knot. This is what we call a double barrel knot. So I go around the string twice, come back behind it, and pull through. pull the tension, and now we've started our crosses. So now I'll clamp this one. We'll do a couple more just so you can kind of see what it looks like. As you can see, I'm pushing the string down with my hand, because if I just pull it in one spot, it'll groove the strings and the strings will break faster. So I push it down when I pull. And typically when I'm stringing, I like to get one row ahead because it makes it easier for me to weave the strings, because the string that I haven't pulled behind is helping open up the gap between the two strings that I'm weaving between. So once again, same thing, I'm pushing the string down, pulling it. Now that I'm one ahead, I pull it to tension, and as you can see, I push it up to make sure that it's coming across straight. A lot of the times, people that string that haven't strung a lot or don't know what they're doing will leave the string like that when they pull it, and then you'll kind of have this rainbow effect going through your racket, which is not the way it should be done. So what I always do is I push it up like this. So when I go to pull it tight, it'll pull it pretty much right into position. For the next row. So once again, you see I'm pushing it down so I don't get it to score the strings. Pull it tight, and you can see because I had pulled it up. I'll show you once again. If I push it up like this and I pull it, it'll pull into spot. Lock it off. And then do one more just so you can see it. So once again, you can see I've already pushed this string up. Now I'm going to weave through the strings. And once again, I push the string up as I'm pulling it. That way we don't score or mark the string so it breaks faster. Push the string up, and then when I pull the tension, it'll pull it right into place. Alright, now that I've made it to the end of stringing the racket, I pull the string, pull it to tension, I clamp it into place, then we're going to tie it off. So much like the main tie-offs, I find the grommet that is the biggest, which is meant for tying the racket off on. Do a simple loop around it, pull it back through. And then I pull it to tension. I can unlock it, the clamps. The tension stays in there because the knot holds it. And as you can see going through the string now, we don't have a rainbow pattern. The strings are coming straight across. There might be a couple that need a little bit of adjusting at the end. But other than that, we are all good to go. And that's what it's like to string a racket and the process of stringing a racket.